You've been told to be nice, be polite, be safe. But here's the cold truth. Nice never makes her heart beat faster. Dangerous does. Gentlemen, let's get one thing straight. When we say dangerous, we're not talking about being reckless, abusive, or criminal. We're talking about power, unpredictability, capability, and a quiet confidence that says, I can handle myself, the world, and I can protect you too. Women aren't drawn to danger for its destruction. They're drawn to it for its energy, adventure, and dominance. The very things that make a man feel alive and make her feel feminine. 7. Key reasons why women want dangerous men. Most men are raised to believe that being agreeable, polite, and always saying the right thing will earn them love and respect. They think that by molding themselves into what they believe a woman wants, they'll win her over. But the truth is, this kind of behavior doesn't inspire attraction. It breeds boredom. When a man constantly filters his words, hides his opinions, and avoids any form of conflict just to be liked, he slowly erases his own identity. And women feel that. On the other hand, a dangerous man doesn't bend for approval. He knows exactly who he is, what he stands for, and where he's going. He doesn't change his opinions just to avoid discomfort or make others feel better. He's not rude, he's real. That authenticity is what draws people in. It shows emotional strength, confidence, and most importantly, self-respect. A man who is unapologetically himself tells the world, I don't need your permission to exist. Women are highly tuned into this energy. They're not looking for perfection, they're looking for presence. When a man is grounded in who he is, he creates a sense of stability and certainty. That's rare in a world full of people constantly trying to impress and please others. The dangerous man isn't chasing validation. He's living in alignment with his own values. Whether people love him or hate him, it doesn't matter. He remains centered. Being unapologetically yourself is not about being offensive or rebellious. It's about living with integrity and refusing to shrink for anyone. That kind of man commands attention without demanding it. And that's why women are drawn to him. Because he brings something real, something solid, in a world full of masks. In today's world, many men struggle with boundaries. They fear that saying no will make them seem difficult, rude, or unattractive. So they agree to things they don't want to do, tolerate behavior they shouldn't accept, and let others, including women, dictate the pace of their lives. But this constant people-pleasing doesn't win respect. It actually kills attraction. When a man has no boundaries, he signals weakness, and deep down, women sense that. A dangerous man, on the other hand, knows where he stands. He isn't afraid to set clear boundaries with friends, with co-workers, and especially with women. He doesn't do it to control others, but to protect his time, energy, and self-respect. And more importantly, he enforces those boundaries. He doesn't just say what he won't tolerate. He takes action when someone crosses the line. That ability to hold the line is what makes him powerful. Women are naturally drawn to men who create structure and stand firm, not because they want to be controlled, but because it makes them feel secure. A man who sets and enforces boundaries shows that he's in control of himself and his life. He doesn't allow chaos to enter his space unchecked. That control is not about dominating others. It's about mastering himself. Most men are afraid of losing people by setting boundaries. But the truth is, the right people are drawn in by them. A woman may test those limits, consciously or not, but when she sees that a man won't fold under pressure, she feels both challenged and safe. That combination is powerful. When you stand for something, you instantly become more than just another man. You become a force. And that's what truly captures a woman's attention. When things go wrong, when pressure mounts, and when chaos hits, most people panic. They freeze, break down, or run. But a dangerous man does the opposite. He remains calm, focused, and ready to act. This is because he's trained, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. He doesn't crumble under stress because he has built himself to be resilient. That ability to stay centered when others lose control is what sets him apart. And it's one of the deepest reasons women are drawn to him. Competence under pressure is not just about solving problems. It's about presence. When a woman sees a man who can handle himself in a crisis, in a conflict, or in any unpredictable situation, she instinctively feels safer around him. She doesn't have to wonder if he'll fold or if she'll have to take the lead when things get tough. She knows he's solid. That stability becomes deeply attractive on a biological level. It speaks to her survival instincts, but also to her desire for a man who brings strength, not stress, into her life. Dangerous men prepare for adversity. They train their bodies through discipline. They sharpen their minds through challenge. And they keep their emotions in check, not by avoiding them, but by mastering them. So when life tests them, and it always does, they respond with clarity, not chaos. This doesn't mean being cold or robotic. It means being capable. And capability breeds confidence, not just in yourself, but in those around you. When a man consistently shows he can be counted on when it matters most, he earns respect without asking for it. Women notice that. They feel it, and they gravitate toward it. Because in a world full of weak men who fold, the dangerous man stands tall. Predictability might feel safe, but it rarely sparks desire. Most men live their lives in patterns, same conversations, same routines, same responses. While that may create comfort, it also creates boredom. When a woman can predict your every move, she may appreciate your stability, but she won't feel excited by your presence. Excitement comes from uncertainty, not chaos, but the kind of unpredictability that keeps her guessing, keeps her engaged, and keeps her emotionally invested. A dangerous man understands this instinctively. He brings mystery to the table, not because he plays games, but because he lives a life that isn't entirely accessible. He doesn't overshare. He doesn't put his whole story on display in the first conversation. He reveals layers over time. Every time a woman thinks she's figured him out, he surprises her with his mindset, his humor, his depth, or his ambition. He challenges her mentally, emotionally, and sometimes spiritually. That tension is electric. This unpredictability isn't about being erratic or manipulative. It's about being dynamic. Dangerous men constantly evolve. They explore new interests, take risks, and move with purpose. One week, they're immersed in work or training. The next, they're traveling, reading, or chasing a new passion. That kind of life naturally creates intrigue. It keeps a woman wondering, what's he going to do next? And more importantly, how can I stay part of his story? When a man is unpredictable in this way, he becomes a source of energy. Being around him feels like an adventure, not because he's reckless, but because he refuses to live a dull life. And that energy is contagious. It pulls people in. It makes her feel alive. And that feeling is what keeps her coming back, again and again. Respect is not something you ask for. It's something you command. And the way a man carries himself tells people everything they need to know before he ever opens his mouth. His posture, eye contact, tone, and presence all speak for him. A dangerous man understands this and uses it. When he enters a room, people notice, not because he's loud or seeking attention, but because there's something in his energy that demands awareness. It's a quiet confidence, an unshakable sense of self, and a lack of fear in how he moves through the world. Other men pick up on it first. They feel it in the way he looks them in the eye, the way he stands firm, and the way he doesn't need to prove anything. He doesn't compete for dominance. He simply is dominant. That unspoken strength creates respect without confrontation. And women? They feel it too. It's not just attraction, it's gravity. She's drawn to him not because he tries to impress her, but because he doesn't have to. A man who commands respect sends a clear message. I know who I am, and I know what I'm worth. That mindset changes everything about how people treat him. He doesn't tolerate disrespect, and because of that, he rarely receives it. He doesn't chase approval, so others naturally seek his validation. His presence carries weight. What makes a man dangerous in the most attractive way is this calm power. He doesn't have to raise his voice to be heard. He doesn't have to show off to be noticed. His character does the speaking. That kind of presence cannot be faked or borrowed. It's earned through discipline, self-mastery, and living by a code. And once a man becomes that grounded, the world, including women, pays attention. The man who can walk away holds all the power. Most guys cling too tightly. They fear rejection, loss, or being alone. So they tolerate disrespect, chase validation, and try too hard to prove their worth. But that kind of behavior signals one thing clearly: neediness, and nothing kills attraction faster. When a man needs a woman more than he values himself, he puts her on a pedestal and sacrifices his self-respect in the process. A dangerous man doesn't just live for pleasure or comfort. He lives for growth. He's chasing something. Whether it's building a business, mastering a craft, leading a team, or transforming himself mentally and physically. His purpose pulls him forward. It fuels his discipline, sharpens his decisions, and gives his life structure. That kind of direction is incredibly attractive. It shows a woman that he's grounded, focused, and going somewhere. Being around a man with a mission makes her feel like she's stepping into a world with depth. She's not the goal. She's a companion on the journey. And that difference is everything. A man with purpose doesn't waste time. He doesn't lose himself in meaningless distractions. He knows what matters and moves with intention. That energy is contagious and inspiring. It makes her want to support him, follow him, and grow with him. What's even more powerful is that he doesn't need her, but he chooses her. And that choice, coming from a man with options and direction, holds far more weight. It's not dependency, it's strength. When a woman sees that your life is already full, already in motion, and she's simply enhancing it, not completing it, that's when true attraction ignites. So the question isn't, why do women want dangerous men? The question is, are you man enough to become one? Start training, start thinking, start living with edge, purpose, and controlled power. Because when you become the storm, she won't run from it, she'll run to it.